The rain poured harder, blurring the windshield of Jonathan Vance's luxury car. He almost missed her, standing under a dim streetlight, soaked, shivering, one hand gripping a plastic grocery bag and the other cradling her belly. She couldn't have been more than 20. When he rolled down his window and asked if she was all right, her voice cracked through the storm. "I have nowhere to go." He could have driven off, but something in her eyes stopped him cold. He had no idea that this moment, this decision, would change both their lives forever. Jonathan Vance was used to power, control, and closed doors that opened with a single phone call. As the CEO of a global tech firm, his days were filled with board meetings and billion-dollar decisions. He wasn't the kind of man who slowed down for strangers on the street. That night, he was on his way home from a gala, tuxedo still sharp, mind still buzzing with business deals. But the storm had slowed traffic, giving him time to notice things he normally wouldn't. That's when he saw her. She stood alone on the corner, head down, rain dripping from her hair. Her oversized hoodie was soaked through, clinging to the curve of her pregnant belly. The grocery bag in her hand sagged with the weight of its meager contents. A half loaf of bread, a bottle of water. Jonathan rolled down the window just enough to speak. "Are you okay?" Her head lifted slowly, eyes red, lips trembling. "I have nowhere to go." He wasn't sure why those 5 words hit him the way they did. Maybe because they reminded him of a night decades ago, when he had nowhere to go. A night that changed the course of his life forever. He told her to get in. She hesitated, scanning his car like it was too good to be real. "Why?" she asked. Jonathan kept his voice calm. "Because I'm not leaving you here." When she finally slid into the passenger seat, the warmth of the leather made her exhale, like she'd been holding her breath for hours. Her name was Tasha, 21 years old, 8 months pregnant. Her boyfriend had left when she told him. She was keeping the baby. The shelter she'd been staying in was full. She'd been sleeping in bus stations, moving every few hours to avoid being noticed. As she spoke, Jonathan noticed little things. How she rubbed her belly absent-mindedly when she was nervous. How she avoided looking directly at him for too long. Like trust was a luxury she couldn't afford. A memory surfaced, his mother, struggling to keep a roof over their heads after his father left. The nights they'd slept in a car. The strangers who sometimes helped. And the many more who didn't. He didn't want to be one of the latter. Jonathan made a sharp turn off the main road. "We're not going to the shelter," he said. Her voice tightened. "Where are you taking me?" "You'll see." They pulled up to a gated apartment building in the heart of the city. Not just any building, one of Jonathan's. Inside, a fully furnished 2-bedroom unit waited, warm light. Spilling from the open door, Tasha froze in the doorway. This is yours?" Jonathan nodded. "Tonight, it's yours. For as long as you need it." Her hand shook. "I can't pay—" "I'm not asking you to." For a moment, the only sound was the storm outside. Then, quietly, she said, "Nobody's ever done something like this for me." Jonathan smiled faintly. "Then maybe it's about time." Over the next few weeks, Jonathan checked in regularly, making sure she had groceries, prenatal care, and a sense of safety she hadn't felt in months. When her baby boy was born, he was the first visitor in the hospital room. She named him Jonah. Jonathan didn't need thanks, but when she whispered, "You gave me more than a home. You gave me hope," he felt something shift inside him. He left the hospital knowing he'd made the right choice. Not just for her, but for the man he wanted to be. Because sometimes the greatest investments aren't in stocks or companies, but in people who just need someone to believe in them.